we're likely to hear from the Democratic Alliance. They'll brief the media regarding their position on the economy, the GNU, and their own expectations from President Cyril Ramaphosa's address at 7 o'clock tomorrow. The party has already written to the Speaker of Parliament, that's Thoko Didiza, calling for the scaling down of the military parade that typically precedes the SONA. President Cyril Ramaphosa will deliver that address at the Cape Town City Hall. That's where we find Bulelani Phillip, part of our team, watching the build-up to tomorrow's address. He joins us now live, and there's still no response from the Speaker. Last I saw Bulelani, but of course the DA is asking for a scaling down of this military parade in honor of the SANDF members who've died in the DRC.
Well, good morning to you, Ayanda, and to the viewers at home. Of course, we are coming to you live from the Homecoming Center, where DA leader John Steenhuisen is expected to be delivering a speech ahead of the State of the Nation address scheduled for tomorrow. Of course, as you've said in your intro, is expected to give a report on the performance of the DA ministers that are in the government of national unity, as well as the party's expectations of SONA by the President Cyril Ramaphosa. I'm going to bring into this conversation now Vili Aukamp, who is the DA's national spokesperson, just to unpack some of the expectations of the party. But first, let's start here. You've called for a scaling down of the pomp and ceremony of the State of the Nation address. Have you received any report back from the Speaker?
Good morning, Bulelani. The Speaker told us that she referred that to the Department of Defence. So we need to wait and get an answer from them. We haven't received a final answer. I just think that it would not be right if we have this big pomp and ceremony and aircraft flying over whilst we've got 14 dead soldiers in the DRC with a lot of other soldiers trapped there, and that we need to get them out. We should not spend our money on pomp and ceremony where our first priority should be saving the lives of our soldiers that are currently there.
Let's talk about the report back by the DA leader. Is it the DA's mission to outshine the ANC's ministers that you are going to come here and give a report of the performance of your ministers?
No, not at all. It's the DA's mission that our ministers must do their job as is expected from each and every other minister. I think our ministers are doing a sterling job, all six of them, all six our deputy ministers. If you look at the issues that they've been driving and the wins that they've made in their portfolios, it is clear that they are doing a very good job. And it would be good if that can be contagious and that all the other ministers of South Africa can start to follow that. But it's not a matter of trying to outshine. It's a matter of fulfilling the constitutional duty to do their jobs.
The DA leader is expected to give a report on the status or the workings of the government of national unity. Of course, there's three legislation that you oppose to: the National Health Insurance Act, the Bella Act, and now the latest one, the Expropriation Act. Are those enough to break this bond of the government of national unity?
Well, we were clear from day one that the Democratic Alliance is in this government of national unity to firstly create a better economy. We must grow the economy and we must create jobs. And as long as anything is opposing that, we will not be satisfied. We need to turn this country around, and the only way to do that is to create jobs and to grow the economy. We believe that the signing of the expropriation bill is not a step in that direction. It will not help. We must have changes to that, and that is why the Democratic Alliance stands firm by our position that we will take this on in the Constitutional Court or in the courts, and because we believe that there's a lot of issues that will not pass the constitutional muster for that.
The comments by the US President Donald Trump, do you not think that they were actually given that ammunition by the DA's leaders a visit to the US in the past years, actually to call the US government to actually boycott South Africa on this issue of expropriation?
Not at all. When the DA people were in Washington, we said to them that South Africa is changing. We can feel the winds of change literally here today while we're standing at the foot of Table Mountain. Things have changed in South Africa, and when we spoke to both Democrats and Republicans in the United States, we made them aware of the fact that South Africa is not only the ANC, and that the ANC will lose its majority, which it then in the elections did. So we were right. And we did not ask for any sanctions or any actions against South Africa. We actually went there to tell them, please don't judge us on what the ANC has been doing over the last 30 years. Judge us on what we believe we will be able to do in the next years to come. And that's exactly what happened. We entered into this government of national unity with a clear and open mind and objective of creating a better economy and creating jobs.
Lastly, Vili, your expectations for SONA?
We believe that, as I said now, job creation and growing the economy must be at the forefront. We hope that there will be clear measures that will show that we've got fiscal discipline. We can't keep on borrowing money. We need to have a projection that by the year 2030, which is in 5 years' time from now, we'll have a debt to GDP ratio that is less than 70%. If we are carrying on the trajectory that we are, it's going to be doomed. We need to see that there will be a huge emphasis on education. If we want to turn South Africa around, we've got to educate our youth so that they, for future generations, can carry the torch and carry on with this. We need to see that there are a lot of issues with regards to the safety of every South African. So we would like the President to address that. And I think one of the very important things is we know how dysfunctional the largest part of municipalities in this country is. So we would like to get a clear steer from the President on what he proposes in order to get that turned around. That is the coalface of service delivery for all South Africans. And if we can't turn local government around due to mismanagement at local government level over many years, if we can't turn that around, we're going to have an uphill battle. So we would like to see that as well. Then a very important thing that we would like to see is carrying on the medium-term budget speech that Minister Godongwana did to tell us how the private sector can become involved in the freight rail network so that we can open up our ports. It's no use for farmers to farm and to have all these nice products, but they can't get it to the harbors and they can't export that. It's also important that we see those same concessions in Eskom so that we can really make sure that the generation and transmission of electricity in this country is going to contribute to growth in the economy and not to hamper it.
All right, thank you so much, Vili Okampe. He is the national spokesperson for the Democratic Alliance.